almost like the Flashpoint, where it starts, one of the key matrix lines that will help shatter this status centralized system.
Hello friends, it's Jay-Z. I'm back. This is another episode of Flashpoint Radio. It is Friday, It is Friday, June 1st, 2012, and this is the news. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Flashpoint Radio, Facebook.com/Flashpoint Radio. Subscribe to this feed, like these videos if you like them, and share them with your friends and family. Sometimes they're entertaining. They are always, in my opinion, informative. We're going to start with some stories about our legal system, our justice system, and how equal it is and how fair it is. From CBSNews.com. Florida woman Marissa Alexander gets 20 years for firing a warning shot. Did she stand her ground? Last Friday, Jacksonville mother Marissa Alexander was sentenced by a Florida judge to 20 years, which is mandatory minimum sentence. In prison for firing what she says was a warning shot into the wall after a physical altercation with her husband, Rico Gray. Her husband has a history of domestic violence. He supposedly said, quote, "If I can't have you, nobody's going to have you." She had just given birth to a baby 9 days earlier. She went to her car, got her gun, which she legally owned, confronted him, and then fired into the air a warning shot. And in America, if you don't shoot to kill, you go to jail. Because probably had she shot the man, it would have proven, because there's only one witness, that she felt her life was in danger, and the judge would have been able to accept a stand your ground law. But since she just warned him and asked him to leave, she's going to jail for 20 years. Yes, 20 years for firing a warning shot. But had she killed him, she probably would be free right now, as is Dantes Parks. From LimaOhio.com. Lima jury finds gunman acted in self-defense. A jury acquitted Dantes Parks, who had a concealed handgun license, on Wednesday, finding he acted in self-defense when he shot another man who he believed was trying to enter his van to harm his and his two children. So yes, he felt his life was threatened. He killed this man, and he's not going to jail. I don't think he should be going to jail. He has a weapon to protect him and his family. And if someone was dumb enough to enter another man's van and, act threatening, then you're dumb enough to face the consequences. I just don't think Marissa Alexander should be in jail for 20 years if this gentleman got acquitted. But we've got more stories along those lines from Philly.com. Despite castle doctrine, defendant is convicted in slaying. Now, this was not a jury trial. And this is how this story starts. A Philadelphia judge says Wednesday he was convinced that a disabled, retired Marine was being attacked in the moments before he stabbed a man last October. But he concluded that the stabbing was still a criminal act rather than self-defense. There are multiple witnesses that state that this man was being beaten. He's 57, he's had 2 strokes, 2 heart surgeries, and has a pacemaker. And he could face 12.5 to 25 years in prison for defending himself. Once again, defend yourself. Sometimes you go to jail, sometimes you don't. I guess if you're a Marine and you serve this country, you go to jail. But how about this? This is not about someone defending themselves, but this should be along those same lines of defending your freedom of speech. From CBS Charlotte blogger. State agency censored online health food advice column. Stephen Crooksey says all he wanted to do was help other diabetics get healthy. Yes, this gentleman went into diabetic shock at the age of 49. And he decided to change his life and went to a doctor. They said he'd be on insulin for the rest of his life, and he said, bollocks. And he went on the internet and researched himself and found diet advice and decided to get on the paleo diet, which is The caveman diet. It's high in beef, pork, chicken, and eggs. Minimally processed. Not a lot of fruit and nuts. Leafy green vegetables. No grains. And he turned his life around. And he started a website giving advice to people. He says, quote, "When did it become illegal to tell people to eat meats and vegetables?" Well, Stephen Cooksey, a long time ago, because this country was taken over a long time ago. So it's just now getting down to bloggers and people giving health advice. He was giving advice. He had a disclaimer on his website stating he had no special dietary qualifications. But a month after he started an advice column, a Dear Abby style, he received a notice from the state asking him to stop, quote, "providing advice to readers, friends, and family in private emails and conversations, and offering a paid life coaching service." The state told him he couldn't give advice in private conversations. Yes, that is at the family picnic. You can't say, "This is how I lost weight." Oh, joy. This country is so free because of the TSA and because of our military. I'm so glad that we're fighting a terrorist group that, if it's real terrorist group, has less than 1,000 members worldwide. But regardless of if they're still around now, we did create them. Yes, they're making us so free. So free in this country. Reuters. Court says marriage law discriminates against gay couples. This is a funny toss-up story for me. A federal appeals court in Boston found on Thursday that a U.S. law defining marriage as a union between a man and a woman unconstitutionally denies federal benefits to lawfully married same-sex couples in a ruling that promises to push the issue of gay marriage to the U.S. Supreme Court. I don't personally agree with gay marriage, but I'm never going to tell another human being what they can or cannot do. That is their decision. God, creating all of us, gave us free will. And without the free will to make what are in some people's estimation bad decisions, then we have no free will. God did not want the government to come in and steal our free will. If he wanted to do that, he would have done it himself. But at the same time, I disagree personally with gay marriage. I disagree 100% with the Defense of Marriage Act. The federal government has no right to state anything about marriage because marriage never started. It never was a government thing until taxes were involved. Never, never. It's a religious thing. And I don't care if you have a church that wants to marry two guys. Go for it. Go for it. I personally won't attend that church. And that's fine. That's what's free. That's what freedom is. But we shouldn't be defining marriage in any way at a federal level, let alone a state level. Marriage should be marriage between two people. If you want to do it, I don't care. I don't care. Just give everybody a flat tax, and this isn't an issue. But we can never talk about fair taxes, can we? We just have to have a progressive tax rate that never goes down, because we can never be taxed less, can we? By some of our elected officials. You think the new guys coming in will help things, right? From Washington Guardian, 13 candidates have passed bankruptcies or criminal records. Yes. Yes. Senate hopefuls, 13 Senate candidates have criminal records or past bankruptcies. So, with the past bankruptcies and the criminal records, they are more than qualified to be an elected official of this crony, false government we have that is run by foreign banks and people who don't know what the rule of law is. So, these guys probably will all get ushered into office faster than you can say cheese whiz or sandwich, some other word. Real Clear Politics. Let's see what old Michael Bloomberg in New York's saying. Bloomberg on soda ban. Quote, "We're simply forcing you to understand." He's proposed a ban on all 16-ounce or more beverages, coffees, Slurpees, sodas, in the city of New York. No, state of New York, right? He's the governor. Yeah. He said, quote, "If you want to order 2 cups at the same time, that's fine. It's your choice. We're not taking away anybody's right to do things. We're simply forcing you to understand that you have to make the conscious decision to go from one cup to another cup." No, Michael Bloomberg, you are taking away a conscious decision. Because a business that wants to sell a 5,700-ounce soda to a dumb, fat American now does not have the chance to make that conscious decision. So, you are not taking away consumers' choices, you're taking away business choices. business owners' choices to provide a service or product to a consumer. So thank you for that. And on the Hypocrite of the Day billboard, we've got Michael Bloomberg, who today supported National Donut Day, banning 16-ounce plus sodas in New York, but giving the stamp of approval to donuts. Really? Really? Give me a break. And you know what? You know how you get people to fight against big sodas? The soda companies start a lobbying board to lobby against the laws. Shut up, all of you. Go home. You don't need a job. You don't deserve my tax dollars. You don't deserve any New Yorkers' tax dollars. Just go home. Shut the government down. Shut the government down, because if you're doing this on one hand and this on another hand, you're just confusing the dumb people in America who can't keep up. But those of you who watch this show, I guess you're doing your best to keep up. And I'm going to point you to a very, very important article that I want you to go read for yourself. If I have time next week, I will do a full breakdown on just this article, because I think the points in it are amazing. Amazing. This is a window into what is coming from CNBC's NetNet with John Carney. Time bomb? ? Banks pressured to buy government debt. Yes. Private banks are being pressured by governments to buy their debt. And the best part about it, the one part that they throw in here, is that they're pressuring them to buy sovereign debt, which MSNBC explains in their own article. Sovereign debt is not owed by the citizens of a country. It is not. So this is debt that is ruining the global economy that is stated by CNBC not owed by the citizens. It is the government's debt. So, until the government pays that debt off, not us, shut it down. I say shut it down. Government shutdown could be the best thing that ever happened to this country. Best thing. Jay-Z signing off saying, God bless. Keep your eyes to the sky. I will see you next time.
Tree with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head.